So we have here what we call the value terms. So if you understand and implement the value correctly in your drawings and paintings, you will see immediate improvement. So I guess value is essential to the success of any painting or drawing. So we have here the light source now, in which area, which refers to the area in which the light is originating from. And then we have the shadows, in which it refers to the area on an object where light does not hit. So that's why it created some shadows. And then we have highlights, or that is the area on an object where light is hitting. No? And then we have shades, the dark values. The value scale, the one that we have discussed earlier, now a guide to creating a range of value. And then we have tints, or the light values. So if you can actually use this wisely and implement these value terms in your drawings or paintings, so there's no questions about being a successful painter. O, diba? So, nagsuway-suway na mo ron. Okay? So, for low-key value drawings, objects are more darker in sight. So, di ba, katong mga low-key value scale is more on dark, no? And then we have the high key, no? For high key drawings, objects are more lighter in sight. So, using this, we have ma-differentiate na to, no? We were able to differentiate between the particular drama that this value is creating on a particular artwork. Okay, so the value will give or will pave the way to our next element of art, which is color. So how do we see color? So what do we need in order to see color? Of course, the light source, diba? And when it hit an object, whatever that may be, then a spectrum, or the light spectrum. So if you remember now, the white light is a combination of all the colors put together. So as that white light shines down into an object, part of the spectrum bounces back, and that parts that bounce back ends up in our eyes. And then of course the brain interpret what they received, and they would return back with the information, like mingon ang brain, hey, that's a color, that's a blue color, that's a green color. So that's how we see color. So to simplify it, colors are basically seen by light reflecting off an object. So mao na siya ang color. Okay? So we have here the light spectrum. Kato kung inyong ganiya nga, once a light hit on, no? So the light spectrum would bounce back and hit our eyes. So color categories and physical specifications of color are also associated with objects, materials, light sources, and among others. Now, based on their physical properties such as light absorption, reflection, or emission spectra. Okay? And then we have the color wheel. Now, the color wheel is a circle divided into at least 6 sections and containing 3 primary and 3 secondary colors. This is the spectrum bent on a circle. So we have the primary colors, the red, blue, yellow. They cannot be made now by mixing any other colors. And we have the secondary colors, the purple, orange, green, which is made by mixing the primaries. I think you have basic knowledge on this now in elementary, high school, and even senior high. No, so this is what we call the color wheel. So complementary colors are opposite each other on the color wheel. So when used together within an artwork, they make each other seem brighter and more dynamic. So this is an example of complementary colors that are used on an artwork. So going back to the color wheel, so I will not go back in my presentation kay kanang malahi na pud ang pag-record. So imagine na naman going back to the color wheel. So complementary colors are opposite each other in a color wheel, but if they are going to be used in an artwork, they make each other seem brighter and more dynamic. That's why actually color wheel is not just used on paintings or artwork, but also on decision making. No, gamit ko na siya. So as you can see in this image, this one, now this is Van Gogh's painting, the Night Cafe. The use of green and red next to each other creates a dynamic atmosphere. Okay. And then we have analogous colors. No, they are colors which are near each other on the color wheel. So, ng ganina, atbang, ang karon na pod, tapad. Okay, so when they are used together, they create a sense of harmony. So if you can see here in this particular art form, no, they complement or each other and create a sense of harmony. And then we have colors are also considered to be cool and warm. Now the color wheel here shows the natural division of the color wheel. However, this isn't always accurate now. So we have cool blue and we have the warm red. And then we have warm here. So even though a blue may be considered a cool color with addition of red, the blue may become a warm blue, or with addition of green become a cool blue. So that is how you're going to use the color wheel in order to mix colors and of course came up with colors that are cool or warm. Okay. So, what are some words we can use to describe colors? First of all, of course, we start with the hue. This one. So, this refers to the name of the color itself, such as the blue, red, yellow, green, mauve, whatever it is. Now, this pertains to the color, the name of the color itself. And then we have value, which refers to the lightness or darkness of a color, that which we can do by adding either black or white on the color scheme. And then of course, intensity is the next word we can use to describe a color, and it refers to either brightness or dullness of color. We can also call this saturation. So if the color is very bright, then it is well saturated, but if it is very dull and quite dim, so then it is desaturated and does not have any intensity to it. Okay, so these are the properties that you can actually describe colors. Okay. Okay, so we have here an example of how we are going to describe a particular color. So let's start with the three properties. Now, of course, the first one is the hue. So we give the name black as the hue of the color. So we have the value, which refers to the lightness or darkness. So how light or dark the black is. So of course we have the gray, so a little bit more light than the black itself. And of course we have the intensity, which refers to the brightness of the color. So how bright the gray was before, it has become white. Sumana siya. That's how we are going to describe colors. Okay? And then, for the last one, a monochromatic color scheme is when the artwork is made from one color altered using tints and shades only. So we have here a few examples of monochromatic color scheme art form. So looking at this painting, of course, we can tell that this color is derived from mostly red with just a few tints and shades. And of course, this one also more on uh, the color blue with a particular tints and shades, so which make up a monochromatic color scheme. So as you can observe, this monochromatic color scheme gives a particular airy effect or mystery to a particular artwork. Okay, and that's it. That's all about the elements of art. So if you have any questions, violent reactions, concern, or inputs, no additional inputs about this topic, you can always find me at Messenger, the email, except SMS because I don't actually have load always. So I rely heavily on the internet. Okay, anyway, that's it. So we're done with the elements of arts, and then of course our next topic would be the principles of design. Bye, kids.